Hello and welcome back to Alice Talks Football, and there's been a lot of news over the last few days about Donny Van De Beek to Manchester United, lots of reports and rumours, and well, that's triggered me to get a lot of questions about Donny Van De Beek. What kind of player is Donny Van De Beek? What position does he play? Is he a box-to-box? Is he a cam? How would he fit in? Would he work with Bruno and Pogba? Do we really need Van De Beek? I've been getting a lot of questions about Donny Van De Beek, which has given me the idea to do a video about 5 different ways that Manchester United could line up with Donny Van De Beek in the starting 11. How he works around Bruno, Fernandes and Pogba, and what kind of player Van De Beek is. Now, does this video mean that Van De Beek is going to join Manchester United? No, it does not. It's just, if Van De Beek joins Manchester United, how would he fit in the squad? How would we line up with him? And how does he work? And what kind of player is Van De Beek? There has been a lot of noise about Donny Van De Beek to Manchester United, but not as much noise as Jude Bellingham, Jack Grealish and Jadon Sancho. So I'd put Donny Van De Beek in the top 5 most likely to happen transfers this season in my top 5, but I wouldn't put him in my top 3. Now, first things first, this season Donny Van De Beek has mostly played as a box-to-box or an attacking midfielder, but can play in the CDM role as well. He's very flexible in the midfield and he's a very creative player. He's a box-to-box player with very good creative numbers, where Fred doesn't have that many goals and assists, while Van De Beek is a similar kind of player to Fred, but a lot better attacking-wise. Now, the way that Manchester United normally play is the 4-2-3-1 system, so how would Donny Van De Beek fit into that? Well, to be honest, Pogba's a box-to-box player similar to Van De Beek. Pogba's a more physical version of Van De Beek, and he fits fine into the CDM role. And you could play Bruno as a cam with Van De Beek and Pogba behind. Yes, they're both box-to-box midfielders, but they're playing in a dual pivot CDM role, meaning they're more deep-lying playmakers than shields. If it was one CDM, I'd put Matic with Van De Beek and Pogba ahead. But because we're playing with 2 CDMs, I think you can afford to have 2 deep-lying playmakers. Like, I wouldn't play Van De Beek on his own as a CDM, as a holding player, because he's not a holding midfielder naturally, but he can make chances from deep, and he can play with Pogba in a CDM role as a deep-lying playmaker with Bruno ahead. Because there's 2 CDMs, it allows us to do that, while if there was one CDM, they'd probably need to be a tackless CDM and shield the defence. But in the 4-2-3-1 system, you can have Bruno and Van De Beek as deep-lying playmakers, playing it into the likes of Rashford, Martial, Greenwood or James. You've also got Bruno to pass it to, who can take the ball from the midfield to the attack, and I think the 3 of them would add lots of creativity, and we play a lot more of attacking style football with them in the squad. But once if Bruno Fernandes gets injured, everyone's like, well, we're going to have to play Pereira or Lingard back in the cam role. But that's the good thing about Van De Beek, and even Pogba, you could say, Bruno gets injured, you put Van De Beek in that cam role, and you can have Fred and Pogba behind, or Fred and McTominay, or Pogba and McTominay, whatever combination you prefer. You can have Van De Beek, Pogba and so behind if Bruno gets injured. Which is why I like Van De Beek more than Grealish, because Grealish can play as a left attacking mid and a cam, but he can't actually give depth in the CDM role in this formation. Now, what other formations can Manchester United play? Well, when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer first came in, we played the 4-3-3 formation with 1 holding CDM. However, to be the 1 holding CDM, I'd probably use Matic, if not McTominay, because, you know, if there's 1 holding CDM, they need to actually shield the defence rather than being more of a deep-lying playmaker. So then we've only got 2 box-to-box / number 8 roles ahead of the CDM. Who are we going to pick out? Van De Beek, Pogba and Bruno. Well, the thing about Bruno Fernandes is you can actually ship him off to the right. If there was a problem on the right-hand side, we can ship Bruno to the right, and we can play Pogba and Van De Beek as box-to-box midfielders. Van De Beek could almost have that Herrera role from when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer first came in, and Pogba in the same role that he excelled in when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer first came in. So the midfield when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer came in and went on that amazing run was Matic, Herrera, Pogba. Van De Beek just plays that Herrera role. And, you know, we can put Bruno on the right, we can give Bruno a rest, or we can even play Bruno instead of Pogba. And, you know, we've got Rashford and you've got Martial ahead. Now, is Bruno a right mid? No, his best position is number 10, number 8, but he can play on the right, and he's proven to be very flexible for Sporting Lisbon. That's just the concept for the squad. Now, another formation that I think Manchester United will play if they sign the likes of Donny Van De Beek or even Jack Grealish is the diamond formation, the 4-1-2-1-2 kind of diamond. Now, when we played Everton, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer experimented with it, and I think for this formation to work, you'd have probably McTominay or Matic at the CDM, you'd have Donny Van De Beek and Pogba with Bruno ahead, and Rashford and Martial as your split strikers. I think this would work very effectively. We saw it against Everton, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer trying it out, and I do think if we get another midfielder in, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will probably experiment with this formation. The only thing about this formation is it's quite narrow, so, you know, if someone goes down the wing, we could get caught out easily, and Rashford's better as a winger than a striker, although he is a split striker. with Martial. However, again, lots of creativity in the midfield to pass it in to Rashford and Martial, and I believe they'll get lots of chances. And the thing about Rashford and Martial is they've barely had any chances this season, but they've scored lots of goals. So imagine them actually getting service, how many goals they will score. Rashford has 19 goals this season with a service of Lingard and Pereira pretty much in every game. So the service of Pogba, Bruno and Van De Beek, that's gonna be like 25, 26, 27 goals. It's gonna be insane. You could even play the 4-2-2, which again is a kind of like diamond formation. And you could have Pogba and McTominay as the CDMs playing together. So McTominay being a bit more of a defensive CDM, and McTominay can be a little bit carrot-like. He's got really good long balls. You know, he's quite a good passer. So him and Pogba could almost play as deep line playmakers together. You can have Van De Beek as your left cam, Pogba as Bruno as your right cam. Jack Grealish plays the left attacking mid role for Villa this season, so you could have Van De Beek in that role as an attacking midfielder, but slightly wide, and Bruno as another attacking midfielder, and then again Martial and Rashford as the split strikers ahead. Now, I think this formation would work quite effectively. Again, it's 4 in the midfield, it's kind of like a diamond. I think if Grealish came in, then that's how we'd probably possibly play, because it is more suited to Grealish than Van De Beek. But I could do another video talking about how we could line up with Grealish if you want to see that. Same with Sancho, same with Bellingham. So let me know in the comment section down below if you want to see that. Now, that's 5 different ways that Manchester United could line up with Donny Van De Beek. Now, for me, I can see us doing the 4-2-3-1, because I just feel like that's the formation Ollie's going to go with. And I think, you know, you could play Pogba and Fred and Bruno in the 4-2-3-1, but you have that depth to put Van De Beek anywhere in that formation and just add depth to the squad, because we don't actually have any depth in the cam area. You know, Bruno gets injured, Pereira's got to go there, Lingard's got to go there. If you get Van De Beek, he gives depth in the CDM role, the box-to-box role and the cam role. Although he's not an out-and-out CDM, when you're playing with 2 CDMs, as mentioned earlier, he can play more of a deep line playmaker role, so his defensive duties aren't as big as if he was playing as a lone CDM. Now, I do believe that Manchester United do need a CDM this summer and a right wing most importantly, and maybe a backup creative player. Myself, I'd like to see Van De Beek, but if we didn't get Van De Beek, my ideal free signing, just trying to keep it realistic, would be Sancho, Partey, and I'd go Buendia. Why would I go Buendia over Grealish? Because Buendia is probably going to be £20 million and he can be a backup right mid and a backup cam, while Grealish would be £60 million as a backup cam and a backup left wing behind Rashford. But I think if we could get Donny Van De Beek, he'd be a brilliant signing for Manchester United and he'd fit right into the squad. Would he get in the starting 11 straight away? Probably not. I think he'd play the odd game, but if he played well, then he'd get in the starting 11. But I do think that he could work very well in a midfield 3 with Pogba and Bruno Fernandes. They're all 3 creative players, and I just think the amount of chances they provide to our front 3 means we'd get lots of goals and it would be a very exciting style of football, as well as adding depth. So let me know your thoughts on Donny Van De Beek to Manchester United. Would you like to see Donny Van De Beek at Manchester United? And if you have not already, please smash that like button, subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football, also share this video with your friends, comment any questions you have in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching. If you have any video suggestions, feel free to comment down below. See you next time.